as real as it gets. I don't have any fancy way to play intro music or do anything fun until the live starts. So this is all you got. You get me. Sorry to disappoint. Y'all deserve better. I know this. But in the meantime, I guess a little bit of Ray Ray is better than nada. We got fight night tonight, fuckers. What's up, Kyle R. Catches? What's up, Cat Ray? Wow, we got 3 people in the chat that have actually caught predators. That's kind of neat. The ratio is skewed, fuckers. What channel is Cam catching on? Everybody go, no shit, damn it. Fuck, I don't get notifications for shit. I even checked to see if, a couple of people are live by name. How far along is he? Let me jump over there, see where he's at. Holy shit, that is I'll give you a mod right now, Kyle. I'm actually not driving, so let me hop over to YouTube. All right, for some reason I can't mod anyone on YouTube. I guess I can hang out for a couple of minutes. I would ask that if anybody wants to watch the catch, please go over to, I think it's on Carolina PP. Go support someone actually putting in fucking work. What's up, fuckers? Yeah, my YouTube app, for some reason, I can't scroll through comments and I can't mod anybody. Anything below the picture screen is fucking frozen. My bad. Alex Cash on locals in and out. Yeah. Rumble is, I still think it's kind of working on some shit right now. Yeah. So tonight, all I want to do is talking about the fights. Who do I got? Triple C. Do I got Henry Cejudo? I think that it's the best thing for the sport. I think it's the best thing for the sport to see Henry Cejudo take it back just because he's a fucking draw. But I don't know. Y'all got me for. My wife took one of the pooches to the vet, getting shots. So, who wants to talk about what? More or less, we'll keep it above the belt, but more or less anything goes. Just stream his catch, Ray. The chat over there is a safer space. Nah, bro, I think I'm good on that shit. I don't know where the fight is. I'm watching it on. There's no way on earth I would have illegally stream it at dagusports.com. I would never advocate for that. I think that it's terrible. If anyone does that, Dana White's gonna sue your ass because that's fucking illegal. What up, Josh? Yeah, there's a couple of good fights on tonight. I'm excited to get with the boys. We're gonna not the YouTube boys, but my real life boys. We're gonna grill out. We're gonna smoke some wings. Your boy Ray is still on a temporary hiatus. I've got a restraining order against Kirkland brand Scotch until I'm safe to consume more. I'll keep you guys updated because I'm sure that you really care. I think it's a really quick turnaround for for Mr. Burns, but that's just kind of where we're at, fuckers. Shit, I do feel bad that Cam's got a live catch right now, but we got a small crowd over here, so I don't think it's too bad of a look. But whatever, it is what it is. We're fine. What are we doing? We're clapping and we're doing a nose. I guess that's the thing. Hell yeah, smoke wings. Right now on the, I'm gonna do a minced garlic and teriyaki marinade for some of them, and then I go with the good old Frank's Red Hot little paprika, salt and pepper. Toss them. I do like smoke wings and then throw them on the grill. Try to give them a nice little char and sear on the outside. Your boy Ray's a little bit of a foodie, so Bilal Muhammad's a. Gilbert Burns is he's like physically just an imposing individual, man. Like that guy was, on YouTube with all those fitness weirdos, they say so-and-so is built different. Gilbert Burns is, and he's built very similar in the way that Yoel Romero was, meaning that in short spurts, he could end the fight at any given time, but you can't be that big at that weight and move around for 25 minutes. Ray found his bottle of scotch in bed with another man. He then realized during a blackout Kirkland's session that he had power bottoms for a grinder hookup. Needless to say, Ray was scared straight. Fuck that. Oh, that's a fucking amazing. That is an amazing comment. Always gay. Always gay. 110%. So yeah, that's what I got for tonight. I usually don't do the weekend shit, and I got 25 minutes for, and I didn't see anybody live, so I said, "Fuck it, I'll give some people a place to chat for a couple." Yeah, Gilbert Burns is able to cover distance, knockout power in both hands. By the way, last night Jorge Masvidal at Gamebred had the first bare knuckle MMA fight in Florida, and let's just say Roy Nelson put his opponent into the fucking shadow realm. That 40-year-old husky man with a mullet. I don't know if anybody saw it. I know there's a couple of fight fans in here. I see Roland in here. I see Josh Davis. I see Jason. Yeah, when Roy last night was able to kind of hide that too behind the jab, and he threw it short, but he turned his hips over perfect, landed it dead center nuts on the guy's chin, and he was the gentleman was out before he hit the floor. That was, and I tell you what, part of me, I'll never root for anybody to stop doing what they love. But I don't think that after everything he's given the sport, I don't think Roy Nelson has much left to prove. And like selfishly, just for his legacy, I would love to see that be the last memory that we have of Big Country, is him just scoring a walk-off knockout, just old vintage Big Country, sat down just right off the chin, fired that two down the pipe. God damn, he put that motherfucker to sleep. It was. And I as I kind of approach middle age, it's always neat when I see guys, a little bit long in the tooth, able to pull off something pretty spectacular. So, and I hope that Jorge puts on a few more of those events. It was fun to watch. The commentation, the production quality was okay. The commentators, I'd say, were not phenomenal, but all in all, the entertainment value was high, and it was free on YouTube. So. Yeah, I was super excited. I thought that it went off pretty good for the guy's first promotion, and I tell you what, it would be serendipitous, I think, is the best word to describe it. Jorge didn't exactly have the best outing against Gilbert Burns not too long ago, but with that being said, if he's able to enter the bare knuckle MMA, which it was on YouTube, Roland. It was on YouTube. That's the great thing. Somebody sent me a link. I didn't even know it was on, so I was kind of I was surprised. I had to create a little window of time without much to do, and I was able to have some fun. So fuck yeah, let's go Jorge Masvidal. But so what I was saying was, if Jorge, let's say he decides to pick one good fight, I'm trying to think, anybody in the chat that's a fight fan, who would you like to see Jorge have his real swan song retirement fight against in bare knuckle MMA? If he was to fight in his own promotion and go back to his roots. Those of you that don't know, Jorge Masvidal he used to fight in Kimbo Slice's backyard fighting, which was pretty fucking amazing. I think it was called Game Bred MMA, Roland. If you just Google Game Bred Masvidal bare knuckle MMA. Yo, a cop's behind us. I don't. Chuck's 50. He's been every time he gets touched. The guy just winds up going to sleep for an extended period of time. If it was 8 years ago, I'd say absolutely, but I'm gonna have to pass on a Jorge Masvidal versus Chuck Liddell bare knuckle MMA match. I don't think that. I don't think that's 8 years ago. Yes, now no. Somebody else throw a name in there. Anderson Silva. Masvidal was a 55 and a 170 guy, and Anderson was a middleweight, light heavyweight, 185, 205 fighter. I think the size there is going to be a lot to deal with. What a POS. Why go live knowing Cam is having a catch? I didn't know Cam was having a catch, community watcher, and I sent everybody over there that didn't want to talk about the fights. So thank you for your input. I'll send it to my people, and we'll have a response for you within 3 to 5 business days. So thanks for the input. Jorge Masvidal versus Nate Diaz rematch in bare knuckle MMA, Jason. I actually think that's not a bad. I don't think that's a bad idea, man. I think that might be if they could somehow if they could get it big enough where they can pay Nate what Nate's worth. Both those guys could walk away with, call it like $2 million or something like that. If they were able to crowdsource and cut out the middlemen, yes, I think that Jorge Masvidal versus Nate Diaz in a bare knuckle MMA fight that'd be perfect. Perfect. Yo, I said for a long time, they missed the opportunity, but 4 years ago, if Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz were to fight, I think they probably both could have walked away with 10 million each. Put that stupid bad motherfucker belt on the line. I did see Cam got a gram, but it's funny. Y'all told me that Cam was live as soon as I turned on. I did not get a notification on Carolina PP, so I've already made a public apology to Cam. But we're talking fights here. We're not talking. This is a different space right now. This is the fight space. So let's see where he's at. Where is Cam in the catch? Yeah, he's it's already 40 minutes in. I'm sure that the who do I got tonight, Cap? That's what we're talking about right now. I would like to see Bilal win. I think that Burns is going to be a little bit too much physically for him to. I could be wrong, and honestly I was surprised that Burns wasn't able to put away Masvidal, and Henry Cejudo. I think he's the best thing for the sport. He's the only guy at that weight class that can really move pay-per-views. I do not want to see Francis Ngannou bare knuckle unless it's versus Francis Ngannou and Deontay Wilder in bare knuckle boxing would be absolutely fucking epic. Anybody who's just tuning in, we're just kind of doing fight talk today. Nothing today is about predator catching. Nothing today is about community drama. I mean, y'all do in the chat whatever the fuck you see fit, but I wanted to give all my fight fans a place where we can kind of shoot the shit, chop it up, and put our bets on. So let's see. UFC tonight. You know what's really sad is that both Beneil Dariush and Charles Oliveira, those guys were both canceled, which was I was pretty bummed to see. I'm gonna go hit a new Nate Park, but I'm feeling gotta lazy, just gotta go. I don't know, man. Like I've never heard anyone do something fun and say like I wish I stayed home. But there are days you best. And if you need to chill and veg and just relax and give the body a break, I know what you do is moderately physically taxing. So But yeah, so let's go back to. I don't think Aljamain Sterling's great for the sport. The way that he took the belt the first time from Piotr Jan, um, I go back to when Anthony Smith had the opportunity to take the DQ victory over John Jones, and like the warrior that he is, he said no. It was a bummer, man. That was to watch him not get up and answer the call was shitty. Granted, I do think that he was a little bit stunned, but I don't know. Nobody. I don't want to go out like that. Bring it, Tough Tom. I'll play you in Skate Cap, Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Anybody want to hop up and talk about the fights? Maybe have a little bit of a ESPN style debate. We can share some laughs, talk some shit. Who wants that? Because we only got about 14 minutes left. My wife's about to pull back up, so we don't have much time. Who here wants to hop up and talk about the fights? Preferably someone ultra masculine and alpha. So if Tech's in the chat, I think you're the one that people want to hear from the most, my guy. But it's up to you, Tech. I will drop the link. Anybody who wants to hop up is more than welcome. I dropped the link in the chat, and nobody seems to be. And Kron Gracie's fighting tonight too. One of the actual Gracie fighters, first time in a long time. Put your head up my butt and fight for air. Yeah, we can get down with that. That's fine. I got no problems with that. All right, we got somebody in the basement. What's up, Jason Casey?
Hey, what's up, man?
Chilling, just trying to see where the finger is on the pulse of tonight's. I'm surprised how many fight fans we have in the community.
Oh, dude, well, you definitely picked a long time one to come up and talk to you. I've been watching this shit. I don't know, probably since 2005.
Who are you rooting for tonight, and who do you think's going to win tonight in Aljamain versus Henry?
Honestly, I wouldn't say I'm rooting for anybody. It's one of those things when you've been. There's very few fighters I actually root for anymore. I just love watching. I think John Jones just showed us that you can come back after a 3-year layoff and still fight really well. Henry and John were actually training together for John's fight. So I think the layoff is not going to be as big of an issue as we think with Henry. And I think he's going to be able to.
Well, it's not like Henry was doing, DMT in the Himalayas for the last 2 years.
Yeah. He's been training every single day, coaching. I was watching him do, duck walks and stuff, and he still looks smooth. I mean, he still looks fast too.
Cool.
I still think he'll be able to wrestle, man. And like I said in the chat, Aljo is really particular. He likes to get low singles, and good luck hitting a low single on an Olympic gold medalist who's 5'2", 5'3".
I was about to say just center of gravity, low base alone. Henry doesn't even have to sprawl. He just has to stand up. And I think it's the best thing for the sport if Henry wins. Aljo's he's a Matt Serra, Ray Longo guy, and that's an affiliate of the gym that I trained at. So I should be rooting for Aljo. But yeah, when he did not answer, the ref asking to re-engage against Piotr Jan, I do think part of me kind of tuned out from Aljo when that went down. Do you remember that fight?
I do remember that fight. I remember exactly where I was watching that fight. And Piotr Jan was whooping his ass for sure.
Dude, one of the weirdest things I've ever seen for when you talk about remembering where you are during a fight, I was in Long Branch, New Jersey, which is like a huge Brazilian community. Huge Brazilian community. And I was there with two of my buddies from Brazil they were on my team out of my camp, both coaches. And it was a Matt Serra affiliate that we were at. So Chris Weidman's fighting Anderson Silva. And the first one was the one where he threw that He threw a lead hook, a follow-up right, a hook, and then he hit him with that little back fist that slept him. So we're in this huge Brazilian bar. Everybody's speaking Portuguese. Everything says, Ordem e Progresso. Like the whole place is fucking Braziled out. And when Weidman was able to fucking knock him out, like the three of us were the only people in this huge Brazilian bar that start cheering. It was not a friendly place. We had to make a quick exit, but yeah. And then
Yeah,
Kron Gracie tonight. Like if you're a longtime fan,
I know
I do
Kron.
think I think that it's kind of neat that we actually get to see the Gracie name in UFC lights again. And Bryce, like I said earlier before, Bryce Mitchell, Jessica Andrade is fighting tonight. That fight doesn't do too much for me, but
Well,
I
there's
was
been a
looking.
couple Gracies floating around. I don't know if they still fight, but recently in the last couple of years in Bellator, and there's been a couple of them, but I think Kron is the first one to fight in the UFC since Poise.
Yeah, I mean, you got Kyra out there. She competes in jiu-jitsu. You had Neiman. You had Hollis.
Yeah, Neiman.
Uh, Hollis Gracie. He's that huge 6'5" fucking Frankenstein looking dude. So Pat Kahn says, I only watch the Thai fights where two 90-pound dudes fight one 200-pound dude or a girl versus a. Have you ever seen that?
Dude, I've watched all that horrible shit. Like the Russian MMA team fights where it's like 8-on-8. Oh yeah, I've watched all that stuff. It's bad.
So Pat Kahn said that he's been watching since UFC 3. Yeah, and that's back in like the Gerard
1994.
Gardeau, Keith Hackney, Art
Yeah.
Jimerson. I don't even know if Tank Abbott was around yet, but Dan Severn, Don Fry. I mean,
I want to say
fuck, dude.
Abbott was like UFC 6. I don't know
Well,
for some
I'm just
reason
saying, like,
that's
there's like, I'm just talking about
yeah,
that generation of fighters.
of course.
I hope Kron does well, Josh. I really hope that he does too. I was really looking forward to seeing Bryce Mitchell get back in the win column after he was on a big old hype train, and he wound up he took a pretty one-sided L in his last fight. So if Bryce went, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I agree. I was just talking about Bryce Mitchell to somebody about 2 days ago, and I'm exactly in line with your thoughts.
Yeah, and then same thing with Charles Oliveira. Like his last loss to was it Justin Gaethje? His last loss? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, he beat Gaethje. He beat Gaethje by rear naked choke. He lost to Makachev.
Islam Makhachev. Okay, that's yeah. Watching that's right. Watching Charles Oliveira get submitted was that was not something I think a lot of us were ready to see.
Yes and no, because remember, we've seen that before in his early days, and I know he's kind of turned a new leaf, but Makachev, so there's certain people, and if you've done, like you've said, if you've done jujitsu and grappling, you would know there's certain people that, and I swear it's the head arm choke in particular, when really strong wrestlers are on top of you, they have that difference in squeeze. Like you can tell a guy is like wrestled specifically his entire life when they put that squeeze on the head arm choke, and Makachev, I think, is just that good to be able to do that to Charles Oliveira.
Really quick, super quick. I just want to address Patty C down there in the chat. That's how I opened up the live, Pat. When I saw a Big Country last night, like he threw a jab, or not really a feint, but he kind of put it out there and he hid the two, and he just wound up putting that dude into the fucking shadow realm, and it was a vintage Big Country walk off. And I'm only recapping because obviously Pat Con actually seems to know what he or she is talking about. I don't think did you see that last night, Jason?
I did see that last night. I put in chat that the KO kind of reminded me similar to Carwin versus Gonzaga years ago.
Oh God, that's fucking Gabriel Gonzaga, man. When he head kicked Mirko Filipovic, what's his nickname? Krokop. Yeah, his last name's that stands for Croatian cop. Like his last name was Filipovic.
I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. That's back in the days of like VHS tapes and magazines. So I was like, who the fuck is Krokop? I know who Mirko Filipovic is. But all I'm saying is last night, and it was like a Mark Hunt style knockoff. Like he just threw this short little check right, and the dude was starched. His arms were fully outstretched. He was out before he hit the canvas. And I genuinely hope not. I would love to see Roy fight again, but for him and his mental health, I would love to see that. I would love to see that be his walk away. Just like our
100%.
last memory of Roy Nelson is of him throwing a short little check right and just sleeping a guy before he even hit the canvas.
Roy Nelson fights. I remember watching Roy Nelson. I didn't really watch him before he came into the UFC because he was in IFL or whatever and got fought, I think, some guys like Arlovsky and stuff. But then he won the Ultimate Fighter when I was a senior in high school. And then obviously I watched him through his career, and I just remember when he fought Czech Congo, it was like the biggest disparity in physiques that I've ever seen in a fight. You have Czech Congo, who's like 6'5" and fucking jacked, against this little short fat dude with a mullet, and I was like, there's no way Czech Congo is going to kill this guy. But looking back, Congo does keep his right hand low, and Roy comes in with the overhand right. It makes it all makes sense. And that's just any MMA fan who's just getting into the sport. If they watch that, they will not believe what goes down in that fight.
Another one to remember about Chet Congo. Do you remember the back and forth, like those 30 seconds of anarchy he had with Pat Barry?
Oh my God, yes, that's another one. I remember exactly where I was watching that fight.
I oddly enough, I remember where I was too because it wasn't a pay per view; it was on a fight night. So I was in like a local bar, and I remember watching that. And Pat Barry had him dead to rights, bro. Congo, and I'm screaming, "Stop the fight! Stop the fight! Stop the fight!" And you didn't even really see he threw like this weird little shovel hook, like shovel uppercut check hook,
Yeah,
and clipped him, and then fell down on top of him, and Pat was out. But I wish I had the ability to queue up video. That's one of the craziest exchanges. That might be the most wild 20 seconds in MMA history. Is that
yeah.
fight?
It got some awards with the press, like I don't know if it was like comeback fight of the year or KO of the decade or something like that, but it was up there. I mean, people talked about that for years. I want to say 17 or 18 years old at my buddy's house. And I'm a huge Czech Congo fan. I always was. So I was like, my heart was racing. Like, you
Was,
know,
was it was it Pete Sell, the guy who took the body shot and he kind of winced and covered up like holding his rib cage? And the
yeah, it
other guy
was.
came in to hit him, and he just managed to like throw this two down the pipe
It
and
slept
fucking
him.
sleep. That was one of the most. I don't think he was playing possum. I think it was legit, and I think just out of like sheer like muscle memory or defense, Pete Sell was able to. That's just
Yeah.
out of curiosity. Down there in the chat, if you're actually a fight fan, press one. If you're an actual fight fan, I want to see how many people here actually care what we're talking about. And my buddy NZ Eloy, formerly Negative Zero, yes, when Roy slept Brendan Schaub, that was
Yeah.
the stare down gave me chills. Jake Paul is the best fighter.
He's
Yeah,
surprisingly good at boxing, honestly, but no, I don't think he would do well in MMA.
no, I also don't
He's
think. I
just too
mean,
green. That's all.
dude, he beat Nate Robinson, who was like a 5'6" player for the Knicks that was like 38, 40 years old.
Yeah.
He fought Ben Askren. He fought Tyron Woodley twice, who's 40 years old and really hasn't.
Silva's 50.
Silva is. I mean, I thought Silva was going to beat him, to be honest with you.
I honestly think if Silva didn't fuck around in the early rounds, he could have won on points, no problem.
Yeah, I thought he was going to stand on the outside and literally just pick him apart every time he kind of would try to move in. But I was shocked on. I thought T Rod was going to lay him out too, man. I thought Tyron was just going to have hand speed. I didn't even think that Tyron had to necessarily bring a game plan. I just thought Tyron was going to be too much of an athlete for. I remember CM Punk's failed UFC career, dude. When he fought, what was his name? Mickey Gall. Was that the first fight? Mickey Gall.
Yeah, he got taken down in like 11 seconds and choked out.
It was that was a very sad outing. I felt bad for I
He
felt bad
threw
for everyone involved.
he threw one pathetic cross that I think he threw the right cross and his foot came up off the ground. That's one of the first things they teach you in MMA or boxing classes, to keep your feet planted. And his foot comes up on the first punch he ever throws. He gets double legged to oblivion, and it just is over. It reminded me of a poor man's Couture versus James Toney.
Oh God, that was yeah. Watching James Toney, who didn't look like it looked like the gym he trained out of for that fight was Golden Corral. Um,
I got excited for that fight. I don't know why. I was young when that fight happened, and I was really excited for it though.
Todd's going to be singing the national anthem at the Sam versus Tommy boxing match. Oh shit! Yo, no way this is true. No way that's actually you. A cop's behind. No fucking way. Are you seeing this comment, Jason?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's Meta World Peace. So apparently, Ron Artest of the Indiana Pacers beat my ass just because I threw my drink on him. Coaches and security led him straight at me. Is that really you? Is that really you?
Me?
A cop behind us? No, I'm just asking him if
Yeah.
it's actually. I'm asking him if it's actually him. Uh,
You were talking about Jorge Masvidal a little earlier, and I just saw this on like a YouTube channel. I didn't actually fact check it or look up any news articles, but I saw something about how Jorge's dad like shot somebody inside his son's house, and he's a convicted felon, not supposed to have guns, and he's facing all kinds of trouble.
you also got the only other relevant
Attempted
fight.
murder.
No, I believe you. A cop's behind us. I remember watching that. I can't believe it was you. Drew Dober's fighting tonight. He's menace at the palace. That is absolutely correct. Chris LaRoche.
Drew Dober is cool.
Yeah, that's I might stream it with I know I'm going to watch it with the boys. I'll probably hop into the voice chat, and I don't think we have enough people in the community where we could actually do like a fight companion style thing, but I used to kind of want to do something like that where we just get like six people on panel, like watching the fights live, just kind of having a fun little chill stream like that.
Actually, me and Tiny from Blaze's group or whatever, we're just talking about that, and we're supposed to watch the fights and just chill and bullshit on panel tonight. So we're talking about that too, man. We'd love to have you too.
Yeah, it'll be fun to go. I know Tech's a legitimate fan. FTK's FTK is an accomplished combat athlete. We got a couple. I know Jay from DAP. I mean, at least watching him fight on video, I'd assume that he's grappled at some level. But yeah, I'm surprised by how many people, especially PatCon. I didn't know PatCon was a fight fan. I have scars on a big check made of poster board they gave me for $2.5 million. Well, dude, that's the cops behind us. You learn the ultimate lesson, and if you fuck around, you're gonna find out. I hope that you got 2.5 mil. I would take a beating from Ron Artest. Would you take a beating from Ron Artest for $2.5 million, Jason?
I'd do it for $2,500. I'm broke, dude.
Well, apparently in this community, Ray, do you ever watch Creator Clash? I don't even know what Creator Clash is, Major. I'm sorry.
I think it's like they'll get different YouTube channels that have kind of a following behind them, and they'll go fight in a ring. Like there was one. It was like
So basically,
YouTuber.
like Rami versus Jadion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more along the lines of people. I don't know exactly how many followers Rami had, but he might qualify. Tommy with his 250,000 might have. I know there's most of them are people with like these H3. I don't even know the guys H3N3 or whatever is Ethan
That's
Klein, the big names, and they go and fight.
Ethan Klein, I think his name is.
I think so, but I don't know how it works.
That's not my yeah, a big country just threw that little right from behind, man, and fucking slept the dude. And Sean America says Lawler versus that stare down photo when neither of them would walk back to their corner, like I think that gave everybody chills. Sean Americana. Nobody in the arena that night left thinking they didn't get their money worth. That might have been the most violent fight I've ever seen. And I miss Rory. Rory's he's a guy that I thought was going to be an all-time great, and for whatever reason, I'm not shitting on him. I'm not judging him. He just I don't know if he lost motivation, but he just kind of fell into. Would you agree? He kind of fell into obscurity a little bit.
Definitely, and I also thought he was going to be one of the all-time. I mean, he was the heir to GSP's throne, is what a lot of us thought.
Yeah, I mean the guy
And
could fight at range.
well,
Incredible wrestler. He beat when he beat Tyron Woodley. I think that's when a lot of people
oh
were.
yeah,
I guess the term put on notice is what because none of us really know what to expect from somebody until we see them fight like a truly incredible athlete.
but
And
not only beat him, but out wrestled a Division One All American, a Canadian, a white boy, a skinny white boy from Canada, out wrestling a Division One All American NCAA wrestler, like double legging him and holding him down. That's when I was like, oh, so he is that good.
that was just out of curiosity, who here in the chat, who got a notification that Cam had a catch right now? I hate doing this, Jason, like going live when someone has a catch. But you
No, I
can't.
get it.
I can't scroll through 30 channels to see if everybody's live. You know what I mean?
I didn't get a notification. I genuinely didn't, and I'm subscribed to like two of his different channels. So
Don't talk about Fight Club. I'm gonna have to shut it down here in the next 2 or 3 minutes. I'm glad Rory's in the Hall of Fame. He was so young. The sport will wear you down.
he was billed because he's about. I think he's a little bit older than me. I'm about to be 31, and he was billed as like the first generation of kids that trained MMA growing up. They weren't a wrestler that came over to MMA or a kickboxer that came over and learned how to grapple. They were like one of the first MMA students from the beginning, not just, you know what I mean? That's how they build him. And now everybody is just so well rounded. It's just such a different sport.
Yeah, it used to be kickboxer versus a wrestler versus, and now it's you have mixed martial artist versus mixed martial artist.
Yeah.
It's
You
it's a
know,
different sport.
another really good one you guys were talking about, McDonald versus Lawler. I really, really, really liked Hendo versus Shogun, the first one. That fight, watching it live, I was like dumbfounded at how crazy that fight was, especially because Hendo was like 44 at the time or something, 42.
Randy Couture was a rookie in the UFC when Randy was. I don't. Someone's going to correct me in the chat if I'm wrong.
37, I think, or
I
something.
was going to say 36, 37. Like that's when he was a rookie, basically my age, making his UFC debut. Another thing too, he was in the army before he wrestled in college, which is wild.
That is, yeah, he has a pretty interesting story, honestly. Couture does, because you look at his record and new fans will write him off right away. He's like 23-11 or something, 20-11. It's not good, but every single one of the guys he fought was like top five.
Yeah,
So
and he came in. He was an undersized heavyweight. I'm glad that he eventually went down to 205. I would have loved to seen Hendo grab UFC gold.
mm.
Um,
Well, he won a UFC tournament in the 90s, but not an actual championship.
right. That yes, he won a tournament for the night, but I would have loved to seen him like really hold like the strap. And
Yeah, me
I'll leave
too.
you with this one. Do you remember when Vitor almost took it away from John Jones back in like what was that 2013 maybe?
Yeah, about then the armbar, and then Jones came back and submitted him with the key lock or Americana, if you prefer.
Yeah, that's I'll never forget when Vitor had that sunk in. John Jones picked him up like a dad picks up his son. I was like, dear God, this guy is.
I thought we were going to see the same thing we thought we saw Mir do to Sylvia. His arm just popped right there.
And speaking of what Mir does to people, do you remember what he did to Minotauro Nogueira, Big Nog?
I was very upset because I was a Big Nog fan. But yes, I do remember. And then
Watching when he had was that a key lock in Americana or what did he get Big Nog
I'm
in?
pretty sure it was just a straight up Kimura, so the other way than a key lock, the other direction, we'll say.
His or hammer, whatever it was, but yeah, and then you saw the thing just snap in half. Same thing that Kazushi Sakuraba did to Henzo Gracie.
Yep.
But
The
those,
thing, go ahead. Sorry.
you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say the thing that was so harrowing when Mir did it to Nogueira is Nogueira's just laying there looking at his broken arm stuck on the mat and he can't even move it. He's just looking at it in disbelief, laying on his back. That it was like, I don't know, maybe I'm a bitch, but I have really fragile joints, I think, and I always tap out before I get hurt. I just have always been that way when I was doing jujitsu and stuff. tapped early. I didn't want to get, but MMA was a secondary sport for me. I was a competitive hockey player and I trained MMA for like 9 or 10 years in the off season. And I was like, I can't get hurt and then not be able to go back and play hockey. There's no way. So I always tapped.
Well, that's I want to thank everybody for spending a quick 40 minutes with Ray and Jason. I hope everybody this weekend does something fun. You got any last words, Jason? Anybody in the chat? You guys got 60 seconds before I shut it down.
No, man. As always, thanks for having me up. Anytime you want to talk about fights, just shoot me a DM, dude. I'd love to do it with you.
That would absolutely, man. Maybe we'll do be fun if we did like a prediction thing, like get like 5 or 6 people, just kind of like around the horn. Used to be on ESPN talking mad shit.
Totally, man.
Here, out of curiosity, let's add a little bit of drama to the stream. Have you had any communication with your former partner?
Jeff, yes. FPH, no, sir. No.
I wasn't talking about Jeff. I've seen you on panel with Jeff. Everyone was asking where FPH went to. So
no, that was a bad mistake, I think.
that's a great way to end the fucking panel, right? Just on this really depressing low point. Way to go, fucking Ray. And I'm in communications with somebody that you decoyed a catch for, and this person asked me if he asked me if I'd be willing to go with him. So I told him yes. It's only about an hour and a half from me. I'm not going to tell anybody who it is, but I think it'll put a smile on a lot of people's faces to see that guy doing a catch.
Did you read the chat logs yet? They are some of the worst.
I didn't. I don't have the Google Drive yet.
Okay, get with me and I'll give that to you. He is horrible, man. Prior child abduction case. He was, more pictures and videos than it's just bad. I have him start to finish, so.
Okay. Yes, I'll shoot you something. We have phone numbers. I'll text you. I'll just text you because it'll be easier. I don't like communicating via Instagram. I feel like everything gets lost in the shuffle.
Sounds good, man.
All right, everybody. Have an amazing day, y'all. Be good.
Take care, brother.
Peace.